This tutorial is going over the puff stitch, and there's a puff 1 option and a puff 2 option. So this one gives kind of a diagonal direction to the puffs, whereas the second puff option gives more of a straight up and down to the puff. And both of them start off the same. The only difference is that on the puff 1 stitch, you're going to take your last yarn over and pull through all the loops, whereas on the puff 2 stitch, you're going to yarn over, pull through all but one of the loops, and then yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. For our puff stitch tutorial, we're going to start out with a foundation row, and in the first one I'm just going to single crochet 1, and then for the puff we're going to yarn over, we're going to go through that second stitch, pull a loop through, yarn over, going through that same stitch, pulling another loop through, yarn over, pull a loop through, and yarn over and pull a loop through. So we yarn over, pull a loop 4 times. That gives us 9 loops on our hook. And for that first puff, we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through all of the loops, all 9 loops on that hook. I'm going to single crochet. And again, yarn over, pull a loop through, 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 yarn over, pull a loop through all 9 stitches. And we're going to continue with that sequence. For the puff stitch, as you're working, the puffs automatically go onto the back side of your work. So generally when you're working, this would be the wrong side and this would be the right side as you're working. If you're working in continuous rounds, you can also just push your puff stitches through so your puff is puffing out the correct direction. For most puff stitch work, you're going to have another row of single crochets or something around those puff stitches so the puff stitches stand out. And that's our first puff stitch. The second puff option, we're going to start the same as the first. So we have our foundation row. We're going to do a single crochet in that first stitch. And then for the puff stitch, we yarn over, insert our hook through the stitch we're going to put our puff in, pull a loop through, yarn over, same stitch, pull a loop through, yarn over, same stitch, pull a loop through, yarn over, through the same stitch, pull a loop through. And instead of going through all 9 of the loops on the hook, we're going to yarn over, pull through 8 loops on the hook. So now we have 2. We're going to yarn over and pull through those last 2. Going to do a single crochet. And then we will, again, yarn over, insert hook, pull a loop through, 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 yarn over, pull through 8 of the stitches on the hook, yarn over, pull through the last 2 stitches on the hook. I'm going to single crochet and continue with that pattern. Same with our puff stitch 1. The puff stitches want to be worked on the opposite side that you're working, so this would be the wrong side of the work and the right side of the work. You can tell with the puff stitch option 2 that they are a little less diagonal. If you are working in continuous rounds and you want your puff stitch on the other side, simply push it through. Thank you for watching the puff stitch tutorial. We went over puff stitch 1 and puff stitch 2.